gotta know when to fold 'em, know when to hold 'em, know when to walk away, know when to run. Isn't that the truth, man? I'm Patrick Johnston here. Go DominicanLife.com and LasTerrenasLife.com, your real estate company here in the Dominican Republic. And the topic of the video today that goes along with the song is the downsides of investing in real estate. And if you didn't recognize that song, it's The Gambler by Kenny, what's his name again? Kenny Rogers, The Gambler. So real estate is a gamble. It is not for everybody. It's not perfect. And this isn't a Debbie Downer video either, by the way. But these are just the honest conversations you have to have with yourself. And because you have to understand the rules of the game to be successful. But like I will always tell you, we're going to make this together. We're going to make calculated, data-driven, science-driven decisions when you're buying real estate in this country, backed up entirely by stats that are real in real time. So that's going with all the things I'm going to say. So the downsides of investing in real estate are only 5. They're major, but they're 5. Number 1, there are 0 guarantees in life, especially in real estate. Let's use the last 2 years as an example and to say, okay, well, if I bought tourist-driven real estate and I went into the pandemic when the global flights literally halted, was it a disaster? Now, the answer is, if you had a 700-room all-inclusive resort, the answer is yes. But if you had a 2-bedroom, 1-bedroom, 3-bedroom condominium on the beach, the answer is no. So let me break that down. 0 guarantees, and why my statement was correct right now. Because the pandemic was about not having a lot of people gather all together, these large all-inclusive resorts had the worst case scenario hit them. The capacity of airlines was reduced by 90% or more. So all the global international tourists literally disappeared within most, so you had 10%, but you can't run a 1,000-room or 700-room all-inclusive resort with 10% occupancy and expect to break even. Like, come on, let's be realistic. However, what changed in this country, we have 2 major cities, Santiago and Santo Domingo. Those 2 cities have 85% or more of the population of this island or country. And those people also couldn't leave the country, the people that have wealth and money or ability to spend money. They couldn't leave the country to spend money. So what did they do? They became the best domestic tourists in their own country. So here in Sosua, in Cabarete, in Las Terrenas, more Dominicans arrived Thursday afternoon to Sunday than we ever saw in the history. And why is that important to you? Well, 2 things. In the all-inclusive style business, you have a peak season and you have a low season. So your typical winter months between January or December 15 to April 15, chock-a-block full. As long as there's snow in the north, the all-inclusive resorts will always be full. And the domestic market is a market that goes year-round on weekends. So you have to say, what is better, or is it almost the same? I would bet it is almost the same, but just a different product. I would rather have short-term rentals, Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday night, every single weekend, and then have the ability to clean my house and get it organized and re-rent it for 3 days later, or 4 days later, that is, for the following week with another quality tenant, either domestically or internationally. So, yes, so there's 2 sides to every sword, but that is one. So there is no guarantees, but if you pivot and understand the market, you can survive and you can thrive. Next one is landlord work completely sucks. I can't put it any better than that. If you find glory in unplugging a toilet at 2 in the morning, or you find glory where someone blah, 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 my 1 fork is missing, blah, 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 or they arrive at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, there's 4 people on the reservation, but they bring 12 people to check in. Come on. But you have to smile and wave. because that is how you make your money. And the big thing is, if you don't like the business because your skin is not as thick as some other people, you can hire people to do that job and do all the crap work that is required in this business to make money. And it doesn't mean you're weak. It doesn't mean you're bad. It doesn't mean the person that loves to unplug toilets at 2 in the morning is better than you or worse than you. They're called your team. When I had 2,400 units, or almost 6,000 residents in my system in Canada, think of that. If every apartment I had 1.5 or 2 bathrooms, I had 12,000 toilets that could have possibly be plugged, 6,000 fridges, 2,400 fridges, you name it. You understand. The times that those things would call to me or my team multiplied by the thousands just because of sheer scale. Now, I'm not trying to think that my life was painful from it, but I had to create a system around all the things that I did because I wanted to live my best life, and I didn't want to take all the calls 24 hours a day, so I had to build a team. I had 138 employees in my team to handle that. So when I'm educating you, right, you or you and your husband or wife, they're watching this video now, we can be your team. So we would take on all the things that I've just described to you, transparency in reports, identically happening online, so you see a shadow of everything that we're doing by way of reservations and accounting. You can see everything that's coming in on expenses and income. You can see how everything is working. We can do videos to support you, to understand what's happening with it. You understand what I'm saying. So it's about building a team around you, or if you're locally and you love to do those things, or you can handle the rare chance that it's going to happen, all the power to you. But generally speaking, landlord work sucks, but it's profitable. Number 3, it's tougher to get financing on investment properties. No matter where you are in the world, if you deal with a standard bank, banks have a process to decide property like this. And that's the box that you will constantly try to put your round peg into a square box, or square peg into a round box. You understand what I'm saying? And the way they make decisions for their financial ability is somebody that is not an owner, and it's not their money, that is typing in all of your data into the computer, that has the set parameters of exactly what they do want and what they do not want, and they're not open-minded to look at the bigger picture of the reasons why, how, when, and the opportunities. That's banking worldwide. However, 2 sides to every side of every coin again, there are many, many people in this world, more than ever, that are sitting on lots of money, that are more than happy because they've went through the landlord machine and they know that landlord work sucks. So they would rather lend their money to investors and make a return on their money by way of percentage or an interest rate. We're not going to discuss interest rates for the time being, but you understand the point. If they lend their money to you as an investor and you can prove that your model works and that the management works and the data is supported in the science, they will gladly lend you their money because their money doesn't require a toilet to be unplugged at 2 in the morning. That's your job. But the money doesn't need a toilet unplugged. You understand? So the natural graduation for an investor, like me and others, is to lend their money, once they've made their money in real estate, to other real estate investors. They take security. They have all the benefits of a bank, but they make decisions to lend their money on their gut instinct, data, and science, and the known knowledge of how to run a real estate business. Number 1, 2, 3, 4. Cash flow isn't guaranteed. Just like my description of 0 guarantees, but cash flow guarantees, there are, in my business in Canada, we probably had 2 or 3% vacancy or bad debt. So we would rent something and somebody could be there for 1 year, 6 months, 7 years, but something happened in their life and they stopped paying rent. And in Canada, it can take up to 90 days or more to evict somebody for non-payment of rent. It sucks. But meanwhile, they're living there for free, technically. You're paying the utilities, or some of them. You're paying your property taxes, and you're paying the maintenance regardless of them not paying. And look, my home province of Canada, during the pandemic, they also froze all landlords from raising rents or limited raising rents, like 1%, so it does nothing. You know, taking rents and putting a ceiling of 1%, but inflation's running at 5% a month? Come on, how do you deal with that? It's not even make sense. And you couldn't evict people for non-payment of rent because of the pandemic. So if you were a professional tenant, I would simply not pay my rent during the whole pandemic. Why would I? Evict me. Evict me when the pandemic's over, but the government supported to not evict them. So you get what I'm saying. So there is no guarantees in cash flow. However, in short-term rentals, there is a guarantee because you don't give any keys until they pay. So if someone's here for the weekend and they're paying $300 a night for whatever you're renting, and they're here for 3 nights, when the reservation is made, the $900 is collected, you collect the security deposit, and you collect the cleaning fee. And you say, enjoy your stay. There's a difference between short-term rental income and long-term rental income. The riskier of the two is the long-term rental income, my opinion. And I have an educated opinion on that because with 2,400 rental units that I owned that were all long-term, I knew the percentages, I knew the problems. I still made it work, but it had its own unique issues to deal with. Okay, number 5 is the bottom line. Even in the topic where it says downsides of investing in real estate, the bottom line is it still works. It's still profitable. It's still worthwhile. It's worth the energy. It's worth the little bit of stress and expansion of the mind. It's worth partnering with someone to help manage your property and drive the revenue. I always say it like this. If you're renting something for $1,000 a month now to somebody, and you're happy making that, but you have to do the 2 a.m. unplugged toilet stuff, but I can show you a way that I can make $1,800 to $2,500 a month gross income and take 30% of that as our company profit, the net is still better than what you're currently getting gross, and you still have to handle the problems, where the net with me is higher, I have the problems, and you still get paid and have a better life. You follow that? If you didn't quite hear the whole thing, pause, rewind, and listen to that again. I will show you how to do more with less, still pay us as a company to do it, still achieve more net in your pocket, and you have the freedom to do what you want to do. That's what we do as professional people in real estate, okay? So, bottom line is hire us or don't hire us, but use us as your educational tool and your real estate team to give you the guidance throughout the Dominican Republic that makes the most sense financially for you. I swear and I guarantee it is my responsibility and my team's responsibility to show you all the statistics and science and data for you to make an educated decision and not a random decision. There are plenty of real estate companies in this country that have what I call commission breath, that will gladly sell you anything, even if it's the wrong thing. I would rather lose a transaction by telling you the truth than misguiding or misleading you into something that does not make financial sense because the data and science can't back it up. Okay, so the downsides of investing in real estate are small. The upsides are huge. Patrick Johnston, Go Dominican Life, LasTerrenasLife.com here in the beautiful Dominican Republic. Like, subscribe, share, leave a comment. Tell me what other things you want to hear about in real estate, how we can help you. And always remember, life is better at the beach. Adios. Bye for now.